Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel. Today's tutorial we are going to be working on this super simple, super cute little hot pad. Now I came up with this design somewhat. What I needed was a friend is letting us stay in their cabin for Labor Day weekend while we take our oldest to college. And as a gift, I wanted to make them hot pads. Well, I thought, okay, if I want to make the hot pads, I want to design a new one. That way I can show you guys. Because usually every time I gift a hot pad, I always gift the star one that I have the tutorial on. And I thought, you know what, it's time for a new one. So two things I wanted. I wanted one, something that was simple, and two, something that looks like, it's, what's the word I'm looking for? It's easy, yet it looks awesome. Does that make sense? Like, it looks like you worked hard on it, but it's, for a person that knows crocheting and or knitting, knows that it's an easy thing to make. But a person that doesn't know anything about knitting or crocheting, looks like, to them, it looks like you worked really hard, but it's actually just really simple and quick. So what I did was I got online and I looked around and I saw a picture, and as soon as I saw it, I was like, that's it. I know instantly from looking at it that is two granny squares set on top of each other, catty corner, and you just double crochet them together. And I thought, I can do that. That's what I want. So I looked at the picture and I saw what it was, and I did, you know, just created this one by myself from the picture. So I was pretty happy with it. It's super easy pattern. A couple things I want to talk about before we do get started. One thing the first thing is the color combinations. So if you notice this one, oh, I forgot one. Oh, here it is. Right here. Let me move this one out of the way. These three are two color combinations. So you can see on this one, it's brown and the variegated. And I just did 1, 2, 1, 2, 2, 1, and what I'm meaning is 1 round of the brown, 1 round of the variegated, 1 round of the brown, 1 round of the variegated, 2 rounds of brown, and then you finish off the square with 1 round of variegated. Make 2 squares the exact same, lay them on top of each other, wrong sides together, and then I went back to my dark color, my brown, and finished it off with the double crochets. So there's that one. And then this one, I did 1 yellow, 1 purple, 1 yellow, and then 1, 2, 3 yellow, and finished it off with, or 3 purple and finished it off with the yellow. So this one just has a bigger center granny square, I'll say, and then this one just has the 3 rounds, where this one is the 4. And then on this one, it's just 1 less. This one, instead of having the 4 or the 3, this one just has 2. And then I go back to the main color and then finish off with the variegated and go to the solid for the border. And then on these 1, 2, yeah, 3, 4, I did 3 color combinations. So I did 1 of the white, 1 of the green, 1 of the blue, 2 white, 1 green, 1 blue, and then finish it off with the color that I started with. And that's what I did on all 4 of these. And then I wanted to do a 4 color combination, but I kind of was like, I think I've made enough for me to gift to my friend. So I was like, I am just gonna stop here and not make a 4th one. But for the 4 color, I would suggest 1 color, 2 color, 3 color, 4 color. Go back to the first one you started with, 1, 2, 3, and then use that 4th color as your border color. I think that would be really pretty. I almost think I should have done that. I guess I could do it off camera and just gift it to her. If I do, I'll insert a picture here. Okay, so that was what I wanted to talk about, was the color combinations. And then another thing I want to talk about is, I know a lot of people are set in their ways with how they make granny squares, right? So I want to tell you, you can make your granny square however you want to make. We make 2 that match. For me and my tutorial and my preference, I prefer to turn on every round. And the reason I do that is because it helps with my tension and with my crocheting techniques. It helps to make a nice uniform square, a nice defined pretty square. Also with turning, I chain 1 between my 3 double crochets. If you don't do that, I can't say that your square is going to come out like mine, because I chained 1 on all of mine. I didn't not chain 1, and we actually work into the chain 1 spaces. So if you don't want to chain 1 between your 3 double crochets, that's perfectly fine. Just whenever I'm talking about working into the chain 1 spaces, just, I mean, obviously that's the space between your 3 double crochets, okay? And you don't have to turn. I just prefer to do it. So I'm going to leave it at that for you guys to do what you want to do. And then I want to say one more thing before we get started. I show you, this is the square that we make on camera. I wanted to make a Halloween one. So I show you, if you don't want to change colors, if you want to stay like this one, all of these rounds where I don't change colors, I show you exactly how to do that on round 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, okay? So from round 4 to round 5, I show you how to do that. I talk you through it on these other rounds, but round 4 to moving on to round 5, I show you exactly how to do it. Which for me, I slip stitch to the first double, chain 1, turn my work, slip stitch right into the chain 1 space that you're right next to, chain 1, and then work your granny shell, the 3 double crochet, and then go on. I just wanted you guys to know I talk you through it, but I show you on round 4. So if you want to make something like this, just wait till I get to round 4 and I show you exactly what to do, how to move on to your next round without fastening off. Other than that, get your supplies together. Oh, one more thing. I'm sorry, I forgot to mention this. I want to tell you guys, please do not use acrylic yarn on this one. And I'm saying that because of the holes. If you, because I know some people use their hot pads like me. My hot pads, I have several that are double thick acrylic, but they have no holes. And I use those to pull hot pans out of the oven, and then I use those to set hot pans on. With these, do not use these to pull a hot pan out of the oven. If your hand somehow gets through these holes and you get on that hot pan, you are going to launch that pan first into the air, and nobody wants to think about what could potentially happen after that. I mean, you're going to roast your hand. We don't want that. So warning, 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 warning. Do not use these to pull hot pans out of the oven. You will burn the living daylights out of yourself. And I don't want that to happen. Okay. That's it. So let's talk about the yarn. I used, for the Halloween colored one, I just used these cheap cotton skeins. They are a bit of pain in the butt just because I'm not very fond of using cheap cotton yarn, but it's peaches and cream and it's sugars and cream. It's a 4-weight, 100% cotton. You can use any cotton you want. I do suggest a 4-weight cotton, so it's a nice thick hot pad. And I used a, where did I put my hook? Where did I put my hook? Oh, here it is. I used a 4.5 millimeter crochet hook. I used a needle to weave in my ends and a pair of scissors to cut. And that is it. So get your guys' supplies together and let's get to making some hot pads. All right, so to get started, we are going to get a slip knot on our hook and make sure you have plenty of tail to weave in. And we're going to start with a chain of 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We're going to come down to that very first chain and go right in there with a slip stitch to form a ring. just like that. I'm going to pull that tail tight to close that chain that we slip stitched into, and then working over our tail and into the ring, chain 1, and we're going to work 3 double, 1, 2, and 3, chain 2, go right back in there with 3 more double, and that chain 2 space is our first corner, and we need 4 corners. 2 and 3, chain 2, there's our second corner, back in there with 3 double, 1, 2, and 3, chain 2, there's our third corner. Scoot your work down if you need to get room. 1, 2 double, and 3, chain 2. There is our fourth corner. 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's go ahead and slip stitch to that first double crochet, and that is the end of round 1. So now if you don't want to change colors, all you're going to do is slip stitch to the first double crochet, chain 1, turn your work, and then right next to you is either going to be a chain 1 space or a chain 2 space. Slip stitch into the chain space that's closest to you, chain 1, and then go right back into the chain space, working either the 3 double crochet corner or the 3 double crochet to move on to the next space. I'll show you whenever we do it. But for this for this pattern, we are going to fasten off and go to the next color. So once you've slip stitched to that first double crochet, chain 1, pull up a loop, and cut. Now we want all of our tails to be to the back of our work, so the back of our work is going to be the back of the double crochets on row 1. Throughout the entire little square, the back of our work is always going to be the side that's showing the back of the double crochets in row 1. So pull that to the back. Go ahead and pull that tight if you want to. We'll weave in the ends later, or you can weave them in as you go. So once you finish your round, we're going to turn our work, and then I'm going to grab my next color, which is my green. Get a slip knot on my hook, plenty of tail to weave in, and into any of the chain 2 spaces we are going to attach with a slip stitch, chain 1, and scooch that over. Now remember, the back of our work is always going to be the side where row 1's double crochets are to the back. Well, I want this tail to go to the back, so I'm going to pull it to make sure that it goes towards the back, and I'll fix that later once we get a little farther. Alright, so into the chain 2 space we're going to work our corner, which is 3 double crochet, chain 2, 3 double crochet. So go right back in there with 1, 2, 3, chain 2, and go back in there with 3 double. 1, 2, 3, chain 1, jump to the next chain 2 space, 3 double, 1, 2, 3, chain 2, 3 double. 2, 3, chain 1, jump to that next chain 2 space, 3 double. 1, 2, 3, chain 2, go back in there with 3 double. 1, 2, 3, chain 1. I'm going to bring all my tails to the back. And to the last chain 2 space, we're going to work the 3 double. 2, 3, chain 2, and then go back in there with 3 double. Alright, slip stitch to the very first double crochet. So you can see here's our 2 chains. Here's 1, 2, there's the very first double crochet. Okay, so again, if you're fastening off, slip stitch, chain 1, pull up a loop, and cut. But if you're not going to fasten off, slip stitch, chain 1, turn your work, go into that chain 1 space right in front of you, slip stitch, chain 1, and then scooch that over and go right back in there with 3 double crochet, chain 1, get to your corner and work your corner, 3 double crochet, chain 2, 3 double crochet. But I am going to fasten off. So I slip stitch, chain 1, pull up a loop, cut. Now I want that to come to the back. Remember, the back is the back of round 1's double crochets. So I'm going to pull that this way, and then I'm going to bring that other tail through here this way. Or no, wait, I already pulled on it, so it needs to come into the bottom one. Right there. There, and pull it tight that way. So all my tails are to the back of my work. Alright, so once you've fastened off, turn your work, and I'm going to grab my next color. Get a slip knot on your hook. Into any of the chain 2's corners, we're going to attach with a slip stitch, chain 1, I'm going to pull that tail to the back, scooch this over, and into the chain 2 corner, we're going to work the corner, 3 double crochet, chain 2, 3 double crochet. 2, 3, chain 2, scooch it over, go in there, 1, 2, and oh, that got way over. Oh, for Pete's sake. 3. And I split the yarn. There we go. Alright, chain 1, and now into the chain 1 space we're going to work 3 double crochet. 1, 2, 3, chain 1, and now we're to the chain 2 corner, so we work the 3 double, chain 2, 3 double. Chain 2, scooch that over, 1, 2, 3, chain 1, into the chain 1 space, I'm going to work 3 double, 2, 3, chain 1, jump to the next chain 2 space, and we work our corner. 1, 2, 3, chain 2, 3 double. All right, and I'm going to go ahead and off camera finish this so you guys can finish this on your own. You just chain 1, 3 double into the chain 1 space. Chain 1, work your 3 double, chain 2, 3 double corner into the chain 2 corner. Chain 1, 3 double crochet into the chain 1 space, chain 1, and then we're going to slip stitch to the first. So I'm going to go ahead and get mine done off camera, and I'll be right back. Alright, so I have repeated that around, and I am going to slip stitch to my first double, and now here's a really good place I can show you if you don't want to change color. You slip stitch to that first double, chain 1, turn, slip stitch into the chain 1 space that's right next to you, chain 1, scooch it over, and then go right in there with your 3 double, chain 1, 3 double, chain 1, get to your chain 2 space, work your work your corner, 3 double, chain 2, 3 double, and then you just repeat that around. But I am going to fasten off chain 1, pull up a loop, and I'm going to cut. Wait, yep, make sure I'm pulling it to the back. Alright, so that is round 3, so I'm going to turn my work so that the last round, all of the double crochets are facing away from me. And now I'm going to go back to my purple, and then I'm going to work 2 rounds of my purple. So at the end of the first round of purple, I will show you how I'm not changing colors, just to make sure everybody understands. Alright, so I'm getting a slip knot on my hook, plenty of tail to weave in. I'm going to go into any of the chain 2 corners with a slip stitch, chain 1. I'm going to pull this tail to the back of my work and go right back in there with 3 double. Two, 3, chain 2, go back in there with 3 double, alright, chain 1 into the chain 1 space, 3 double, oops, this is really cheap cotton yarn, so it's not the greatest to work with. Alright, chain 1, next chain 1 space, 3 double. Chain 1 into our chain 2 corner with our 3 double, chain 2, 3 double. Chain 2, scooch it over, 1, 2, and 3, chain 1, and I think you guys can handle this one on your own, and of course you know, chain 1, 3 double crochet into the chain 1, chain 1, 3 double crochet into the chain 1 space, chain 1, we're to our corner, so we work 3 double, chain 2, 3 double, chain 1 into that next chain 1 space, 3 double crochet, and just repeat that around. And I will meet you guys when we get back to where we started. So I'm going to work mine off camera, and I'll be right back. Alright, so I have repeated that around. I'm going to slip stitch to my first double crochet, and here is the round that I was telling you about that I'm not going to fasten off. I'm just going to turn my work. So I'm going to chain 1, turn, slip stitch right into that chain 1 space, chain 1. I'm going to scooch that over, and I'm going to go in there with 3 double crochet, chain 1, and then just start my round like normal. 3 double crochet, chain 1, repeat that till I get to my chain 2 corner, and in my chain 2 corner work the 3 double crochet, chain 2, 3 double crochet, and repeat that around. So once again, I think you guys can handle this one off camera by yourself. I'm going to get mine done and I will be right back. Okay, so I've repeated that around. I've worked my last corner, so I'm going to chain 1, and now I come to the first double crochet, slip stitch to the first one, chain 1, pull up a loop, and I'm going to fasten off. And if you don't want to fasten off, just chain 1, turn your work, and go on like I showed you. So I'm going to make sure I'm to the back, and go ahead and pull this tail to the back. Alright, so now I move on to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and round 6 I'm back to my green. Nope, nope, nope. I just pulled that tight and made a knot. Alright, so I'm going to turn my work so that the last row that I worked, or round that I worked, is facing away from me. Slip knot on my hook, plenty of tail to weave in, and I'm going to go into any of the chain 2 corners and attach with a slip stitch. Chain 1, go back in there with my 3 double, chain 2, 3 double, and then you guys know the drill. I'm going to repeat this. Not repeat this, but work my round, 3 double crochet into each chain 1 space, chain 1 between the 3 double crochet, and then work that till I get to my corners, 3 double crochet, chain 2, 3 double crochet into my corners. Repeat that around until I make it back to where I started. So I'm going to go ahead and work this off camera and I'll be right back. Okay, so I've repeated that around. I'm going to chain 1 and slip stitch to my very first double crochet, chain 1, pull up a loop and cut. Make sure the back of my work is facing me, and I'm going to pull it to the back just like that so it stays to the back, and I am going to turn my work, and for the very last round I am going to do the same thing, attach with a slip stitch into any of the chain 2 corners, get a slip knot on my hook, plenty of tail to weave in, I'm going to go over here, attach, chain 1, go back in there with 3 double, 2, 3, chain 2, go back in there with 3 double. That is annoying. 1, 2, 3, chain 1, and you guys know 3 double, chain 1, 3 double, chain 1, 3 double, chain 1, 3 double, chain 1, 3 double, chain 1 into your chain 2 corner, 3 double crochet, chain 2, 3 double crochet, chain 1, jump to that next chain 1 space, 3 double crochet, chain 1, 3 double crochet, chain 1, repeat that around until you get to back to where you started. So I'm going to repeat mine off camera, and this is the last round. So I'm going to get my round done, and I will come back when I get to the last chain 3. Or, I'm sorry, chain 3. To the last chain 1 space, right there. I'll be right back. All right, so I have repeated that around. I'm going to end with my chain 1, slip stitch to my first double crochet, get in there, chain 1, pull up a loop, and cut, because we are officially done with our square. So now, make sure I pull this to the back. I have got some ends to weave in and another square. You guys need to make another square. So I'm going to stop here, get my ends weaved in, and we are going to move on to the next part. All right, I'll be right back. All right, I'm back and I have all my ends weaved in, both of my squares made. They're exactly the same. Now what we're going to do is turn one square so that so that round 1, the back of the doubles are facing us. And then this one, we want the front of the doubles facing us. So when we set the 2 blocks on top of each other, the 2 backs are on top of each other, just like this. All right. So now what we have is a designated top and a designated bottom square. Okay. So what we're going to do is we're going to attach into a chain 2 on the back square. We're going to work 2 double, chain 2, 2 double, and then we're going to work into each double and to the chain 1 space with 1 double, double crochet into the next double, and then when we get to the second chain 1 space, I think I said chain 2 right there, I meant chain 1. When we get to the second chain 1 space to the left of our corner, we are going to lay the second chain 1 space to the right of our corner on top of each other, and then single crochet through both of those chain 1 spaces, and then we're going to work on the top square. Double crochet into each double, into the chain 1 space, each double until the chain 2 corner, and then go from there. I shouldn't just sit here and tell you exactly what we're going to do through the whole thing. I'm going to do it with you. So all right, I am going to go. I really considered doing this last round in black, but you know you can't do black on tutorial, so I'm just going to go back to my purple, which is actually the next color in the sequence. Get a slip knot on my hook, make sure you got plenty of tail to weave in, and we're going to attach into the chain 2 corner on the back square. It doesn't have to be this one, it just any of them on the back. So I'm going to attach with a slip stitch, chain 1, and we're going to go in there with 2 double, chain 2, 2 double. 1, 2, chain 2, scooch it over, go back in there, 2 double, okay, just like that. And now we're going to double into each double. 1, 2, 3, double into that chain 1 space, and then double into each of the next 3 doubles. 1, 2, 3. All right, now we're to the second chain 1 space to the left of where we started. Now we're going to bring up our top square, find the second chain 1 space to the right of our corner, so 1, 2, lay that on top of each other, the 2 chain 1 spaces, and we're going to double crochet right through both of the chain 1 spaces. Just like that. Now we're going to work on the top square and double crochet into the next 3. 1, 2, and 3. Double crochet into that chain 1 space, and now we're going to double crochet into the next 3 double. Now this one has my end weaved in, so I'm going to go right next to it and just push my hook through, right next to the slip knot, or the slip stitch on the top I meant. Okay, double into the next 2 double, into the chain 2 space with 2 double, chain 2, 2 double. All right, double into the next 3 double, double into the chain 1. That's only the first chain 1 to the left of our corner. Double into the next 3, double crochet, 1, 2, 3. All right, there is the second chain 1 space to the left of our corner. So now we get our, I said that word, we get our back square, bring it up, find the second chain 1 space, it's right there, lay them on top of each other, and we're going to double crochet right through them. Just like that. And now we come to the back square, double crochet into the next 3 double, two, 3. Got something on my finger. Okay, 1 double into the chain 1 space, 1 double into the next 3 double, 1, 2, 3, into the chain 2 corner, 2 double, chain 2, 2 double, if you guys can hear that sound, that's my button hitting the my desk. So I'm going to unbutton my shirt and get that out of the way because that's kind of getting annoying. All right. Okay, we are going to go into the next 3 double. 1, 2, and then this one is where I fastened off, so I'm going to go right next to that slip stitch and just push it through. Alright, into the chain 1 space with 1, double into the next 3 double, 2, 3, and we are to the second chain 1 space, so I'm going to stop. I'm working on the back square, so I need to bring my top square up, find the second chain 1 space, lay it right on top of the back square chain 1 space, double crochet right through both, and you can see how it's looking. It looks great. So I'm gonna let you guys finish your square off camera, but I'm gonna walk you through it one time real quick. So we just did the back square, connected, so now we come to the front, the top square, double into the next 3, into the chain 1 space, the next 3, work your corner, chain 2 double crochet, chain 2, 2 double, come down this 3 into that chain 1 space, into the next 3, so you're to the second chain 1 space. So now you're going to pick up your back square, lay the 2 chain 1 spaces on top of each other, double crochet through both, and now we work on the back square. Double into the next 3 double, chain 1 space, 3 double, into your corner, 2 double, chain 2, 2 double, come down, 1 into each double, into the chain 1, double crochet into each of those, or to that next chain 2 space. Now bring your top square on top of the back square, line up those chain 2s, double crochet through both. Now you're working on the top square. Work up and then down to that second chain 2 space. Line that up with your back square. Double crochet through both, and now you work the back square. Come to the second chain 2 space, line them up on each, and now you work up the front square, or the top square. Okay, so I'm going to meet you guys at this point, right before we finish this last one, okay? So I'm going to work mine real quick off camera, and I will come back at that the last peak. Alright, so I'm coming around. I'm going to lay my 2 chain 1 spaces on top of each other, go through both of those. Now I'm to my top square, double, 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 into my chain 1 space with a double, next 3 double, 1, 2, 3, 2 double, chain 2, 2 double into my chain 2 corner. Ah, not 3, just 2. Chain 2, rotate, go back in there, 1 and 2. All right, now I'm going to double into the next 3. 1, 2, 3, into my chain 1 space with 1 double. Next 3 double. 1, 2, 3. All right, I'm to my second chain 1 space, so I'm going to stop, line up these 2 chain 1 spaces, double crochet right through both. All right, now I'm going to double crochet on the back square into the next 3 double. Grr. 1 and that's 3 into my chain 1 space, and then into the last 3 double crochet. 1, 2, and 1 more makes 3, and that's the last double. So now we can slip stitch to our first double crochet, chain 1, pull up a loop, and cut. And we are finished. Once you get your ends weaved in, we are finished with our hot pad. Isn't that just adorable and simple? And I love this. I love the colors. And like I said in the intro, you guys can go crazy with all these different color combinations you can do. And look at this one. And this one. And this one. And this one's probably my favorite. And this one. And that's it, guys. I hope you enjoyed my tutorial. If you make these, I want to see it. I want to see all the crazy designs you guys can come up with, and all of the, not just crazy, but beautiful color combinations. Yeah, I think you guys are creative and can come up with some beautiful hot pads. So, having said that, in the description box, there's links to all the different social medias that I'm on. Whichever one you follow, or whichever you just want to shoot me an email, my email address is down there too. Email me a picture of what you guys make, because I want to see it, or tag me, or whatever you do on the platform, the social media platform. I want to see them, and that makes me super happy that you guys show me what you've made of mine from my pattern. Anyway, thank you guys for watching. Hit that thumbs up, leave me a comment, let me know which one is your favorite, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.